Okay, big day for high school baseball as round one of the Section 7 AAA playoffs began today. We had the Hawks and Wolverines face off in softball yesterday. Now the two schools hit the baseball diamond. The Hawks beat the Wolverines 13-2 way back in their season opener. Hermantown's already up one, looking for another with a runner on third. Jacob Evanson gets one to drop in deep left center field. Zachary Bostrom comes home. Now that lead is 2. Top of the second, runners on the corners. The Hawks try to stop the steal at second, but the throw's too high. The Wolverines score one to cut that lead in half. Hermantown would come right back. 2 men on base. Ethan McCubbin with the hit into right. The ball drops fair. Both runners come around to score. That 2 RBI base hit extends the lead for Hermantown, who wins it 7-1. They advance to the quarterfinals, where they will play the winner of the Lumberjacks and the Denfeld Hunters. Early in this one, Cloquet senior pitcher Aiden Collins makes the quick catch on the mound, then tosses it to first for the easy double play. Then this game turned into a strikeout fest. Didn't matter if you were a freshman or a senior, a Hunter or a Lumberjack. Both starting pitchers, Collins and Vinny Udd for Denfeld, tossing some serious heat this afternoon. And if you didn't believe me, this one ended a 1-0 final. Cloquet gets the only run of the game. They will face off against Hermantown tomorrow afternoon at 4:30. Also coming up tomorrow, 3